The third chapter, and that's a new book. So, beginning at third. This page over here in the book. It's on page. It's on page in the book. It's on what page? Oh, I thought you had a book. Chapter 3. Over here, page 2. In the book, it's on page 58. Page 58 in the book, page 2 in this photocopy. Okay, my friends, it's a beautiful Sunday, and if you came last night to the pickles, whatever. It's not my point. We don't have time. It was at the point. Actually, the video before the video of the Rebbe was the beautiful video, and it was about the concept of being b'simcha, which is a very important thing. And the Rebbe, in essence, says you want to break through all things is through simcha. Why? So it's interesting. It's interesting that the aspect of laughter. Chassidus explains. Yesterday it was all about laughter. And about Yitzchak. Yitzchak, his name is laughter. The concept of laughter is when somebody hears something unusual, like a good joke. Nobody's ready for the punchline, right? You always think the punchline is something else, and suddenly it's a different punchline. You laugh, why? Because you're not ready for that punchline. You weren't ready for the person to say that line, and that brings out laughter. That brings out the person to laugh because it's not normal. It's not the usual situation. And so a concept of laughter is Yitzchak, because Yitzchak is not the usual situation, right? A 100-year-old guy and a 90-year-old woman are having a child is Kol Hashemei Yitzchakli. It's like a joke. Whoever's going to hear this is going to laugh. And we know that not only that Sarah was 90 years old, I mean, maybe people in those days had a 90-year-old children, right? Avram, 100 years old. Avram Avinu, after Sarah died, got married again to Keturah. He had another 6 children. It's not. What's the big deal that he was 100 years old, or that she was 90 years old? But if you learn the Medrash, learn the Gemara, actually, she couldn't have children. I mean, she went to doctors and whatever. She couldn't have children. She'd have a womb. So it was not possible for her to have a child.
So
it says she was born without Shivnala. She was born without a womb. So she was not possible. It was impossible for her to have a child. So therefore, it was taka a joke. It was taka laughter in the positive way that she had a child. It was above nature. Yitzchak was not a natural thing. It had to be a miracle. It was a miracle that she gave conceived. It's a miracle that she gave birth to this child, and therefore it's the concept of laughter. It's the aspect of laughter. The opposite of laughter, the opposite of joy is depression. That would be the total opposite of joy. That a person is depressed, that's a concept where he's earth, that's where Chassidus, the aspect of earth is the concept of depression, which a majority of a person is made from earth, and that's why it's, for a person to be depressed is almost an easy way out for anybody. It's the quickest way to do things. It's the easiest way to do things, is to fall into depression. You don't have to work hard to become depressed. You don't have to work hard to become sad. It's very easy to do. Why? Even though my mother used to tell me it takes 17, whenever I used to frown, she said it takes 17 muscles to frown, and it takes only 1 muscle to smile. So I don't know where she got that from, but whatever. That's what you should tell me, whatever. So maybe it's harder physically to frown, but still, it's easier. Why? Because that's the easy way to do things, right? You're depressed, you're sad, something happened, you're sad, somebody said something, you're sad. It's easy to go that avenue, seemingly. It's a very easy way. Simcha is a harder way to do. It's a harder way. That's, you see the video last night, those 3 people that spoke, how, they all went through different things in life, and it was easy for them to close down and to shut themselves down, to run away from the world, and to become depressed. But told you have to be b'simcha. You have to be happy. The Eibush has many avenues for a person. Not everything is one. Not everything has to be done in one way. Not everything has to be accomplished in one aspect. Not everything needs to be changed. in the way you want it to be done. So you need to open yourself up for many other avenues. You need to open yourself up for different realities. And the truth is, that is the concept. If you have bitachon, if you have trust, you're going to be happy. That's what he said in the beginning of chapter 1. If you have trust, you'll be happy. They go together. It's impossible to have trust in the Eibishter, have trust in God and be sad. That's a contradiction. It would be impossible. You say, I trust in the Eibishter, but I'm sad. I'm depressed. They don't go together. See, the happiness and bitachon need to go together. Have to go together. And that's why, that's the beauty of Yitzchak and Avraham, that they go together. They go together in joy. It says that Yitzchak, first Avraham went to the Akedah with joy, with simcha. He didn't go with sadness. And then when he told Yitzchak, they both went together in joy. Even though it was something that was going to be seemingly a tragic situation. But they were happy. Because they have bitachon in the Eibishter, they have bitachon. Bitachon in God. When you have bitachon in God, you'll be happy. Right?
Right.
Okay, beautiful. So now, so we're gonna read this quickly because actually he repeats himself. He repeats himself because he wants to, I believe, he wants to draw it in this concept,
right.
And he wants the person should really believe, because he does in the chapter 2 explain the 7 criteria of trust, and he said if you understand these 7 criteria, you'll see that the only one you can trust is God. So he's going to continue in that. He's going to repeat. We're going to repeat all the 7 things. He repeats it again. So we've done it. We can go through this a little quicker. You're holding on page, in the book, it's on page 58. In the paper over here, I give you chapter 3. Or if you received it on the internet, it's on page number 2 in the email. There are 5 concepts which, when properly understood and realized to be true, will cause a person to have complete trust in God.
Wow.
You're going to repeat it again. The first of them, we must believe. So he's going to believe. He's mixing over here belief and trust. And so we have to have emunah, right? So emunah bitachon sometimes is brought down. There are 2 partners that cannot separate each self from one another. Like Chochmah and Chassidus and Kabbalah, Chochmah and Bina cannot separate from each other. If there's no wisdom, there's no understanding. There's no understanding, no wisdom. You can't separate these 2 entities from one another. You can't separate emunah and bitachon from one another. There's some thin line between them. The difference between them. And there's a difference, but you cannot separate. You cannot have bitachon and emunah. And if you have emunah, you'll have bitachon. So they need to go to Trei Roi and Delay Mispach, the two entities that cannot separate one from another. So to have bitachon, you need to have emunah. I mean, how can you have bitachon without emunah, without faith in the person? So you can have trust in somebody. It was the foundation of that trust was some belief, was a concept of belief in that person that brought about trust. So the truth is, emunah, faith is sometimes easy, because you can see people have blind faith. People have faith. People are believers. You know, the Mishnah, it says, "Aminim b'nei maminim," which we're believers, the sons of believers. So we're believers. We're believers. Jews have a tougher situation with belief, and therefore it's a mitzvah by us to have emunah. It's a commandment in the Torah. You should believe in God, because it's a struggle to a Jew to have that emunah. And since it's a struggle to us to have emunah, we have even a bigger struggle in bitachon, and to have trust. Because it's part of our DNA that we need to, since it's a mitzvah, we have automatically the Yetzer Hara who tries to push us away from having a faith. Yeah. Right? So if you don't have the mitzvah, you don't have the yang. You don't have the yin, you don't have the yang. You don't have the mitzvah of emunah. You don't have the opposite force telling you not to have emunah. So that's why Jews, they don't want to believe, they want to understand. That's why I hear many people tell me that. Right? When I understand, I'll do it. First sit down and explain to me, and I'll do it. What do you mean? I need to have emunah. What do you mean? Why is everything you have to understand? Why can't you have emunah? Why can't you have faith? Right? You have faith in a lot of things. Right? You have faith. You know, you go on a bridge. You push a note. You built a bridge. You got a doctor. He tells you to do something. You push it, sitting there. You do what you're told. We're human, but when it comes to God, we have a big struggle.
It's the first commandment.
No, it's the first 10 commandments. I'm God, you're God. Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Right? It's a struggle for a yid to have a munah because we have a Yetzer Hara that automatically says, and we rightfully, rationally say, oh, we have to understand. The Eibush gave us seichel. The Eibush gave us brains. If we just had faith, why you need our brains? So we even rationalize it that we need our brains. And the truth is that's correct because it's a mitzvah also to know God. So there's a mitzvah to believe in God. There's a mitzvah to know God. There's a mitzvah to love God. There's a mitzvah to fear God. We have it all. And that's the truth. Av and Yira is a difference between knowing something and believing in something. Ava, love, comes through an emotion of knowing something. You can't have Ava if you don't know God. You can't have Ava to another, the Alter Rebbe explained, you can't have really Ava to another person if you don't know the person. You could say I love you. It's above myself. Because you don't know me. The more I know you, the more I get to know you, the more I'll love you. And therefore the mitzvah of Avas Yisrael is to know another Jew. And not only to know him on his outside, but to know him on his inside. Right? So the more you know the essence of another person, the more you're going to come to love him. The more you're going to know God, the more you're going to love him. Right? So therefore, that's why there's a big question. It says, love the Eibishter. How can you command somebody to love anybody? I command you to love him. What do you mean? I don't love him. I can't be commanded to love. It doesn't make sense. It's a commandment. You shall love somebody. You shall love God. You shall love somebody else. It doesn't make sense. It's a commandment. So the commandment of love somebody is to know somebody. Love somebody is to know somebody. And fear of somebody really takes a munah because you don't know what the person, right? You're not waiting for the person's reaction to fear him. Right?
True.
That'll be too late. Right? So Baruch Hashem, we have a natural fear of fire, right?
Yes.
Right? We don't need to put our hand in fire. Some of us maybe do. You know, you need to put your hand in fire to be afraid of fire. We're afraid of danger, right? There's a natural fear. That we have a natural fear to things that we should. That's why we fear things that we shouldn't fear. Nothing happened to us, and we're afraid. Right? Most people, ask them if they had an anti-Semitic act happen to them, they would say no. But we're all afraid. Nothing happened to them ever. They're living in, they've had nothing ever, nobody ever bothered them. But they have this fear. We have this inner fear of anti-Semitism. Like something has happened to personally to us. No, because we have inner fears. Because that comes in the moon, that comes in faith. We have these subconscious, Jews have these subconscious fears. And the truth is, that's why maminim b'nei maminim. We have, maybe our Bubbas and Zaydas put guilt in us. We have this guilt factor. We have this inner aspect of Yira. We don't have to come too much knowledge of it, right? We have this inner concept of fear. That was beautiful about that movie last night. And the positive of you saw that the aspect came. The young guy came to say Kaddish. He ultimately worked on him. It took some time, but it's in him. It's something that was in him. A pasha, something that was in him, and that's true. It's something that's in a yid that we fear the Eibishter. We have a moon in the Eibishter. Maminim b'nei maminim. It doesn't make any rational sense. It's something that didn't come from the sight. It didn't come from the learning. It came from who they are. And that's why sooner or later, you didn't wake up. If you show them love, they'll wake up. They'll wake up. Hopefully. They'll wake up themselves. Because they have it within them. You're not giving them something new. So, that's why I believe, again, that you have to have Emunah Hashem. There has to be some Emunah in a Yid, and we all are Maminim. We wouldn't be sitting in a shul, we wouldn't come to a class if we didn't have Emunah in the Eibishter, because then why would we learn this stuff? So we have Emunah, and our Emunah is there to give us the platform to have B'tachon, to go to the next level and have trust in the Eibush, to have avas Hashem. That's why the Rebbe says in the Mishnah, it says, Im ein yira, ein chachma, ein chachma, ein yira. First, you have to have a little bit of emunah to bring you to wisdom, to bring you to love the Eibishter. But it really, you need to have, your fear should come out of love. Your fear of God should come out of love of God. You got that? In the beginning, your love comes out of fear, like a child. He has to have a little bit of fear to come to love something. But ultimately, your love of something should bring you to be in awe of something.
Oh, well, it's different than fear.
That is fear. That's the higher level of fear. That's Yira Ilah in Chassidus. You have Yira Tata, and the lower level of fear is fear of retribution. And then you have the higher level of fear, which is awe, respect, awe, shame, embarrassment of something that's greater than you. So therefore, your love of somebody, the more you love somebody, the more you're going to come to in awe of that person. The more you put that person on a pedestal, the more you'll uplift that person, make him greater than you. And that's really a relationship where each one person makes the other person greater than them. And that should come through love of one another.
Beautiful.
Right? Okay, beautiful. So let's roll. I said we're going to roll, so now we're not rolling. The first thing he wanted was believe and clearly recognize that God possesses all 7 qualities. My friends, if you don't believe that, then we have a problem. So we have to believe that the Eibishter, God, possesses all the 7 qualities I've mentioned. All of which, when present, enable a person to trust in Him. Right? Again, so as I said, the 3 main things everybody knows, the Eibishter is all knowing, the Eibishter is all powerful, and the Eibishter is all loving. If you don't have those 3 things, you don't have anything. Then basically you don't have belief in God, or you can't have trust in God, for sure not. Right? You need to have those 3 things for sure to be able to help you. Because then you come to daven, you're wasting your time. But you come to daven to God, if He's not knowing, so what are you wasting your time? And if He's not all powerful, you're surely wasting your time. And if He's not all loving, you're totally wasting your time, because He's a mean guy. So what's going to help you? What's going to help that you're talking to Him, right? So the Eibush is all kind, and He's all knowing, and He's all powerful. And if you don't have that emunah, then you need to go. You're back to square one. No, it's very important. And we struggle with that. We struggle with that. We truly do. Every one of us struggles. That's why we have lack of faith. We do struggle with that. The Eibush is all powerful, that He can change the situation. We struggle with that. If we're in a situation, we don't lavdavka believe totally that God can change the situation. Seemingly it's unchangeable. It's not rectifiable. It's a tough thing. Nobody should be put through a test. But when we're put through a test, it's not an easy thing to just say. Yeah, we could say those things easily, but the question is to be able to live those things is not an easy thing. Easier said than done, because we struggle. It's okay. Well, but therefore, he says actually, if you keep on reading this over and over, you're going to come to resonate within you. You're going to come to really, really understand it and start to believe in it. Right? So I already mentioned them in the previous chapter and commented on them, citing verses that were available to me, which states that God possesses these qualities. So the author, he's going to do it himself, so you don't have to wait. The author will now review the 7 qualities. See, the author's a nice guy. It should be noted that this chapter that are listed are in the same are not listed in the same order as in the previous chapters. He made it a little interesting. He changed the order. Harishan, the first quality The Creator, may He be blessed, has more compassion on a person than any other compassionate being. The Eibishter has an unlimited power of compassion. Unlimited. And that's a very important thing to know, because you keep on asking forgiveness. It's from God. If you're going to do that to another person, after 3-4 times, they're going to say, leave me alone, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to see you again. I don't want to hear from you again. Like, how many times are you going to say sorry to me? I had enough. I'm done. We say sorry to God every day again, every day again, and every day again, and every day again. And every Yom Kippur we come, we bang our hearts, we say sorry, even though God knows you can do the same thing tomorrow. It's basically not going to change. The Eibishter has unlimited compassion.
Thank God. Thank God.
Unlimited compassion. And He has unlimited forgiveness. Doesn't stop forgiving. It's one of the, as I mentioned yesterday, it's one of the Chassidus says, tshuva, and that the response of tshuva is one of the most important things in creation. And according to Kabbalah, it's actually the first day of creation, with this unity with God. Over there, where Choshech and Oir are echad, are one. Where God can forgive even intentional sins. Right? The only human being doesn't have such a capacity to forgive intentional sins. When somebody intentionally hurt you. But by God, He forgives intentional sins, even intentional sins. You listen to the chitas today, that the Eibishter forgives even intentional sins. He has the capacity, it's because the Eibishter is unlimited. You understand what God is? He's unlimited. He has no limitations, and therefore He has the power to do that. So even in the Torah says there's no forgiveness for intentional sins, right? The Torah, there's no forgiveness. Right? A korban, when you bring a sacrifice, it's only for unintentional sins. Right? Intentional sin, there's a punishment. There's a response, there's a punishment. Right? There's no forgiveness for intentional sins. But the Eibishter forgives for intentional sins. Because the Torah is talking al pi din, according to justice, and there's law and order in the creation of the world, and there's a cause and effect in the creation of the world, and but I am above cause and effect. So I'm above. So if you come to me, if you come to God, Ani Hashem Refecha, I forgive you. I'm unlimited. I don't have to follow rules and regulations. Baruch Hashem, because I have compassion. Compassion is where I go above rules and regulations. That's why it's important. We say, we ask the Eibush on Rosh Hashanah and Kippur to go from the seat of justice to the seat of mercy.
So you're saying that the Torah is limited with justice? And Hashem
the Torah is a book of justice. The Eibush wrote the Torah. So the Eibush is high.
How can it be a separation then?
Well, not a separation. There's a concept of justice. But if you go to Rachamim, if you go to reach up to mercy, you go higher than the level of justice. You're going to the concept of mercy. That's tshuva. If I do tshuva, that's what we mentioned yesterday. Chassidus says, if you do tshuva ma'ava, if you do tshuva out of love, then your negative becomes positive. Then your aveda becomes a mitzvah. Mm-hmm. You have that capability to reach up, to love the Eibush in a way that the Eibush, God responds, and he changes the aveda into a mitzvah. Only the Eibush can do that. Not another human, not a Bezdin can do that, not a court can do that. Not even the Beis HaMikdash can do that. The Beis HaMikdash can forgive on sins you have done unintentionally. And that's why the Korban Chatas. We do a lot of sins unintentionally. But intentional sins, how does the world cannot, the natural forces of the world cannot change intentional sin you have done. How even in the natural world? Because justice says you've done a negative thing. You're gonna the response has to be whatever the response has to be.
We seem to place on a higher level someone who did wrong or did bad, and then he turned.
Right. So if you
We
do
put
tshuva,
them on a higher level than those who were always good.
Why?
right? Because because such a person transforms himself. Because he transformed himself. A tzaddik never transformed
A
himself.
tzaddik is a tzaddik.
Right?
His nature is.
No, we should. But that is only again about tshuva that does. You should, anybody who repents should be put on a pedestal, set of stone, because most of us don't repent.
Well, they fought the Yeshua.
Right? They changed the Yitzhak, so they should be put on a pedestal. We're talking about not a person's he doesn't do it to put on a pedestal. Here we're talking about a person that has the capability of changing the bad to good. And we have that capability. A person should not think that even if he did intentional sins, that he can't ultimately change it. The Eibishter God put it in the system, that he can change it. Even though according to the law it doesn't fit, but you're going to God, you're not going to another human being. You're not even going to the angels. You're going to the Eibishter, who has the capacity of mercy. And that's mercy. That's the capacity of mercy. The truth is, the Gemara says, you want God to have mercy? Everybody should have mercy. Right? So even though a person has done really bad to you, you should have mercy. Can you go to the level of mercy? Can you go deep into the level of mercy to forgive that person? Not maybe justifiably they shouldn't forgive him. Maybe according to the letter of the law he should not be forgiven. But mercy, that's the power of mercy. Mercy is above the law. I'm not doing it because it's right or wrong. I'm doing it because I have rachmanis. I'm doing it because I have compassion. Yeah? You have to have mercy. Yeah? Let's continue. I'm sorry. We're holding. Yeah? So the first quality is he must have mercy. Unlimited mercy. Correct? Where am I holding?
We're the second.
The second quality that a person must believe that God possesses in order to have trust in him is that it is not hidden from the Creator. May be exalted. The ways which benefit a person. The Eibishter knows everything. But the logic dictates, since the person is one of his handwork, and there's no one who knows him better, who created you? Nobody created you but God. And to what is beneficial or harmful for that which has been made, as well as the troubles that may hold onto it. Even your parents don't know you, right? No child is born with a handbook. That's why no parent is perfect. Right? Your children tell you that very often. Right? No parent is perfect because no parent knows exactly the child's needs. Really doesn't. Doesn't really know what the child really needs. He's doing his best. They're doing their best. And they make mistakes. Parents make mistakes. But the Eibishter knows exactly. He doesn't make mistakes. There's no mistakes by God. He knows exactly what you need. He gave you all your qualities. He gave me all my qualities in life. He gave me all my talents in life. He created me. So therefore, the Eibishter knows exactly what I need. And if the Eibishter is loving, he wouldn't give me anything that I didn't need. Right? So you can't say, oh, I don't need this situation. Then you don't have emunah Hashem. Because the Eibishter said that you do need this situation. Why? You'll figure it out one day why you needed this situation. Well, that's the one of the prayers we pray out. The Eibishter should give us an easy life. And he should belay the surim, right? If we need something, it should come in an easier package, right? It should be packaged a little better, at least to us. It should be packaged a little easier. So we should get those needs in an easier way. The Eibush does what he needs to do. Doesn't do what we think we need to do. So that's why you have to mekabel everything b'simcha. That's why we should need to receive everything with joy. Why? Because the Eibush gave it to us. Gamzul Teva, right? The Eibush gave it to us. If the Eibush gave it to us, then that's all we need. This concept is said in many different ways throughout the entire Pirkei Avos and Torah and Jeremiah. HaKadosh Baruch Hu ba b'trunya, we'll hear this Gemara. The Eibush doesn't give something he cannot handle. Now, if the Eibush gave something to me, then it means that I can handle it. Because he wouldn't give me something I cannot handle.
Challenges and all.
Including anything.
Yeah.
Everything and anything. It's a hard thing, because the Eibush created me. Who gave me this? Who gave me this sickness? Who gave me this tzara? Who gave me this? The Eibush gave it to me. So if the Eibush gave it to me, that means that this is the thing I need to do. This is I need to work through. This is the thing I need to go through. You mekabel it. You have to mekabel it. To be miserable is not going to change the fact. Is misery gonna now that it's gonna go away? Actually, it's gonna get worse. You have to be able to channel it in a joyful way. And the truth is, I'm trying to tell you something. I've met many people who've gone through, taka life and death situations. And as I say many times, that when I go to visit them, and you meet these people who are not religious Jews, but they're inspiring people. They are truly an inspiration. If you meet these people, many of them, they're inspiration. Right? You come there to inspire them and they inspire you. Because the way they've suddenly found within them something that you would never ever imagine them to have such a attitude and you would think, why would they have such an attitude? And I've met people that were very, very sick. And ultimately, many of them didn't make it through. But seemingly they found within them, I don't know, something that gave them the acceptance and the strength, and to be inspiring to others. It's truly magnificent. And the truth is that we shouldn't come to such kind of big tzaddis to be inspired. People kvetch and complain about every other thing, in life. And the truth is that most of our complaints is not when we're in a situation like that. It's when when the trunk was not served on time. The food was not exactly the way I wanted it to be. Whatever, we get angry and frustrated on Nadischkeit. It's cold in here. I would change it, but I can't. I got to go off to the phone. So let's continue. So this is okay. Again, I mean, he wrote the book, for people that struggle with this. And I think we all struggle with it, and we all have different challenges, and we need to strengthen ourselves in this, I believe. In a way to become ill as well as healed, than the one who made himself. So the concept of life and death, healing, sickness, all in the hands of God. The Eibishter made you sick. The Eibishter can make you healthy. The Eibishter gave you this problem. He can get you out of this problem. We find this to be true regarding objects made by human beings who don't actually create anything new through their actions, other than the external form of a raw material, who have no skills or powers to create the raw material itself, then all the more so must be true to God. So if we take such an interest in what we create, which is really something from something, why wouldn't God take an interest when He creates something from nothing?
That's a good point.
What? Good point. You like this point?
Very good point.
Who creates the raw material itself, from which the person is made, and as well as his form, He makes up and orderly unity, both in body and in soul, as well as the interaction between the various parts of the body, it follows that he is most definitely the wise one who knows what will benefit the person and what will harm him, and what is good for him, both in this world and the world to come. As it says, I am the Lord your God, who teaches you for your benefit, who leads you by the way you should go. As it says, for the Lord rebukes the one he loves and placates as a father to a son. In general, there's an interesting expression. But Chassidus says that when somebody goes through pain, because the Eibishter wants a relationship with him. Wow. So the Eibishter wants a relationship with him, right? So they're gonna have, right. So God wants to have this connection. If the Eibishter knew that you're not going to respond, so what it is to have a good life. So that's why the $1 million question is answered that. Why do the wicked prosper and the righteous suffer? Because the Eibishter says, you know what, to the wicked, have a good life. If your life is this your life, go play it out and that's it. I have no interest in you. I have no issue with you. Live your life and have a good life. But the Eibishter wants to have a relationship with a person, and that's the way and he loves him. So therefore, he says, "I love you. I want you to rectify yourself. I want you to work on yourself. I want you to look more deeper in yourself. And therefore, he creates these challenges." So that's why the expression, the Lord rebukes the one he loves. Right? I wouldn't rebuke you if I wouldn't want to have a relationship with you. Right? If you're an evil person, I walk away from you, and you live your life and I'll live my life. But if but a child that I love, I see him doing something wrong, I want him to be better.
But you say that there's a purpose for everybody. There must be a purpose for the person too.
Yeah, he has to repent. But the problem is some people they can go through a whole life and never repent. Chas v'shalom.
Very few people are entirely wicked.
No,
I understand Al Capone was a cherub.
With everybody else's money.
Yeah.
Think about if you...
What is that? I read a book, the mafia, but they love their mothers, So Esav loved his mother. He loved his father, that's you come up to Esav. He had a great mitzvah, kibbud avein, but he was a wicked person who never did tshuva, never repented, and lived a wild life, and that's it. And Yaakov Avinu lived a struggling life, and ultimately established something that would last forever. Yeah?
No, I was just thinking that when you do repent or correct, or Hashem gives, you this challenge, and then you act upon it and correct yourself and do tshuva, the joy that
100%.
comes with that.
I tell people when you go to visit a person in the hospital, they're going through operation. Thank God. You imagine people live longer and are given opportunities that years ago you never had. You never had. A person got a certain sickness, they died. Mm-hmm. That's it. It was just today, Baruch Hashem. You might look at it in a negative way. It's going through a hard time. You're going to be sick for a couple of weeks. You might not be able to walk for a couple. But thank God. Thank God. You might, if it wasn't the situation, you'd be dead. No, you'll be dead. It's a reality. You wouldn't survive. So, Baruch Hashem, the Eibishter brought about in the world technology and knowledge to give people healing, to give people life. And it might be painful. You might have to go through an operation. So how does a person look at an operation? It's a negative thing. The guy's getting cut up. The guy's getting hurt. He's getting sliced up. Hopefully you look at it as a positive. Baruch Hashem. Right? Thank God. I'm going to go through this operation. It'll take me time to recuperate, but I'll be back to a normal person, Be'ezrat Hashem. It'll take some time. No pain, no gain.
We can ask, though, why did he allow us to learn the technology sooner?
Good question. You always can ask that question. You're right. You're 100% right. What was the greatest invention in the world? What was the greatest invention?
I mean, somewhere there's a...
You know what the greatest invention that saved most people in the world?
The wheel.
No, penicillin.
Penicillin.
Penicillin saved billions of people.
Including my
Billions of people. So people would die. They'd get a cold. They would die. You started sneezing. That's why we think why people would sneeze. They get a cold. They would die. So that's why you say it's a gesund. Because years ago people would die. No, it's not a joke. The highest your mortality was 40 years old.
You could die from a cut.
Right.
Just getting a
So
cut.
Baruch
you
Hashem.
die.
So the Eibishter, why? So it's a good question. Why didn't they whatever? The Eibishter runs the world. But thank God, Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem, and Baruch Hashem. That's why a Yid is not against science and whatever they're coming out with, medicine. 100%. We should continue to develop the world, to live healthier, to live longer, to do more, to accomplish more, and to live longer. There's nothing wrong with that. That's
This
beautiful.
is why it's always bothered me why kashrut does not recognize food as both kosher and as also healthy.
That's another whole subject, but that's another whole subject because we don't eat it because it's healthier.
Right.
Actually, Jews I don't know what they eat. I don't know how healthy they are, but okay.
Chicken fat.
The
is
chicken
not
fat
healthy.
and all like with the zacha, schmaltz is not healthy, and pacha is not healthy. Whatever, but it's still kosher. But it is kosher. It is kosher. You wouldn't eat it if it's not kosher. So I don't know if it's per se health per se. Okay, let's continue. We have to finish this. Vashlishi, and the third quality of a person must believe that God possesses in order to have trust in Him, that the Creator, blessed be He, is stronger than any other being. And that His word is more unchangeable than any other person's word, and no one can reverse his decision, as it says, I am the Lord wishes and did. As it says, so shall be the word that emanates from my mouth, it shall not return to me empty unless it is done that I desire. So therefore, all powerful. If we don't believe that the Eibush is all powerful, then we got a problem.
Sounds like he's stubborn.
What?
Sounds like he's stubborn.
Baruch Hashem is stubborn. Because the nations of the world, what? Even the nations of the world say the Eibush should change change his nation. No, the Eibush doesn't change anything. He's unchangeable.
He changed for Moshe.
What?
He changed for Moshe after the golden calf.
No, because he's Rachamim. He's Rachamim. Again, because the Eibush has mercy. He doesn't changeable. Doesn't change. When the Eibush justice is justice, he has Rachamim. He has mercy. That he goes above the concept. He has that capability of going above what is right and wrong. In the level of mercy, everything is the same. There's no right and wrong. There's only good. There's kindness in the level of mercy. And that's what the beauty of that. Fourth quality is that a person who believes that God possesses in order to have trust in Him is that He supervises and governs all people. Hashgacha pratis. Divine providence. He does not forsake them, but rather helps them out with all their needs. He does not ignore them when they are in a time of hardships, nor are any of this matters concealed from Him, whether it's small or big, nor does He, being involved in one's matter, cause Him to forget of other matters, right? It's unlimited, and God is all caring. As is written, why should you say, O Jacob, and speak, O Israel, my ways have been hidden from the Lord, and my God, my judgment passes. As it says in Yeshua, do you not know? Do you not know? If you have not heard, an everlasting God is the Lord, the creator of the ends of the earth. He neither tires nor wearies, nor has a phantom, and no one phantoms his understanding. So again, the Eibush is all knowing. Right? As I said, the Eibush is there. He's right there. Can't separate yourself from God. God is right there. He's not hiding anywhere. He's not sleeping. He didn't fall asleep. He's right there. It's a hard thing. This is a tough one. Where is God in the Holocaust? Everybody asked that question. He's right there.
How do you, this week's Pasha, how do you deal with negotiating with God? Maybe I can find 50 people, maybe I can find 40 people, how about 30 people? Okay, maybe 10 people.
Because the Eibishter, that's Hashgacha process, that's one of the concepts of divine providence. When Avram was revealed this thing, he understood right away why God revealed it to him. What does he have to do with Zdaim? He had nothing to do with the people's Zdaim. He had nothing to do with them. He had nothing,
So they're not his people.
Right. No, but the second God showed it to him, he realized that the reason that God showed it to him was to stick up for them. That's it. When God shows you something and he shows you a bad person, it's not to put him down. It's to find good in him. That's Hashgacha process. That's what we learn from Avraham Avinu, and we learn that from Moshe Rabbeinu too. If God shows you something, why did God show it to you?
Yeah.
Why did God show it to you? He showed it to you to do something about it.
Noah didn't have that quality.
Noach did not have that quality. That's why we learn from Avraham Avinu. Avraham Avinu saw Sodom. He could have said, "Thank you for the information. Good news. I like the news, and thank you for the news." And he could have gone. No, he said, "Why did they even show me this? Why did God want to tell me about Sodom?"
Well, his nephew was there.
Okay, that's one thing. That's true.
And he saved
his nephew. But the truth is, his nephew was being saved even anyway. The Malach already was there to save the nephew, so he would have been saved because of the merit of Avraham Avinu. Was already in the works, and Avraham Avinu doesn't even mention his nephew. He doesn't say, "Oh, save my nephew."
Right.
He doesn't mention his nephew at all. He mentions the people's Sodom. He says, "Save the city of Sodom." If you can find, the truth is, Moshe Rabbeinu goes a step further. Moshe Rabbeinu says, "Save everyone. I don't care if there's any tzaddik. I don't care that
Can't find anybody.
You save them anyway. That's do it anyway. Do it anyway. Save. Why? Why do you need to destroy? Save them anyway. And that's the greatness of Moshe Rabbeinu. So Avraham Avinu was he stopped by 10. He stopped by 10 and he walked away. But the Eibishter, but Moshe Rabbeinu says no. Take me out of the Torah if you're gonna do that. I don't want to be part of it. So that's the ultimate. So when Moshe Rabbeinu, when a Yid sees something, why is Eibush showing you that? Why'd you listen to the news? Just to continue on the news? That's why you shouldn't listen to the news. What are you gonna do about it?
That's right. That's why
Right. You're gonna listen to the news. You hear a story. So what are you gonna do about it? You heard us search something. So what are you gonna do? The first, maybe take a capital Tillim, start saying Tillim. What you do, stop to hear the news and not do anything about it. So why'd you listen to the news? So it's a negative story, a negative situation. Why do you need to listen to negativity? So therefore, don't listen to it. If you're going to listen to it, then do something about it. How can you listen to a story and just walk away? And go listen to something else. How's it possible? Maybe he just heard a negative story. You're just going to walk away.
Well, you appreciate your own life when you see others.
So you see others suffering. I'm not happy. Baruch Hashem, I'm not suffering like that. And that's why the Eibush showed it to you.
I don't know.
No, the Eibush showed it to you because he wants you to change what's happening. He wants you to do something about it. So maybe the only thing you do is say Tillim for them. Say some Tillim. Do something. Just to walk away. That they don't believe in divine providence. The Eibush brought you to this situation, show you this situation, you need to do something about it. And that's what he did. He prayed for them. He prayed for them. And that's the lesson that you learn from it. That's divine providence. That's the concept of divine providence. If not, you just believe we believe in chance. I heard the story. I saw the situation. Okay. Sixth quality, the person believes that God possesses in order to trust Him, that must realize the great kindness that the Almighty bestows on people. And how He started already to be kind and good for Him. At the times of the beginning of His formation in the womb of His mother. Without Him being deserving of it. And without Him, meaning God having any need to do so. Again, this is a concept the Rebbe would write to people, and they would write to him of tzaddis. I've seen this many times, many letters of the Rebbe. That's beautiful that they printed the Rebbe's letters. And you see many times the Rebbe writes to a person that was a big tzaddik. He said, "One son, you got out, you saw, God helped you in the past. God helped you before. So He's not going to help you now. You have history. You've seen that God helped you. Why do we learn? Why do we read the story of Yetzias Mitzrayim, and every day we have to? Because the Eibishter took you out of Egypt many times. He took you out of problems many times.
And He's going to take us out of
And He'll take you out again out of problems. So therefore, the Eibishter's chesed is limited. It's limited to the kindness that He did before. Well, it's unlimited. He did the kindness before, He'll do kindness again. Even Yaakov, in a couple weeks says, "Katayti mikol chesed." I'm small from all the kindness that you have done for me since we have started our life together. The truth is, a yid, a person, every person, a person has to realize that from the day he was born until he dies, who is he journeying with? He's journeying with the Eibishter. We're going together. The Eibishter, God, is the one who is truly journeying with. Right? The Gemara says, it's to a certain time in life you journey with a lot of people. As when you get sick, suddenly half of the people disappear. And then you journey with your family. And then when you die, you journey with nobody. They also say goodbye. Right? They also say, they cry and they say goodbye. And they go on in life. So who are you with?
Hashem.
The Eibishter. So the Eibishter who was with you before, from the beginning, you journeyed. And truth is, who you journeyed with, you're neshama. That's who you are. That's who you are. That's it. Because He was there when you were born. He was there when you're going to die. Continues to be. Everybody disappears. Everything disappears.
How about you're with your ancestors?
Yes. You're with your ancestors. Souls.
They're
Souls.
So you're not alone. You're with
So it's
souls of
godliness.
your ancestors.
So it's godliness. So it's a godly concept. It's a godliness concept. It's a spiritual concept. It has nothing to do with anything physical.
True.
It's a spiritual concept. So your whole journey in life, the truth is, if your whole journey in life was your physical life, it's all gone. If it was not a journey of a spiritual journey, spiritual connections between people, it's all gone. It's a very sad kind of life. Therefore, the truth is, even with your friends, it should be a spiritual journey. You should learn with each other, pray with each other, enjoy occasions with each other. Why? Because it should be a spiritual journey. Then you'll spiritual journey in heaven. If your journey was a physical journey, even with your parents, that's why. Who says you'll be with your ancestors? You have nothing to do with each other. You have nothing to do with each other. There's no spiritual connection between the both of you. There's a physical. He gave birth to you. That's it. Physical connections, all physical connections. You need to have a spiritual journey with somebody else. That's what the Gemara says. Nobody should say goodbye for each other without learning Torah with each other.
Nice.
Right? So you don't realize by learning Torah together over here, we're having a spiritual journey together, right? We're learning Torah, we're learning beautiful stuff. And we're having this journey is never going to end. Our spiritual journey will never end. Right? We're going to continue this journey when Mashiach comes. We're going to continue this journey. Why? Because our journey is not only about physicality. Our journey is a spiritual journey together. It's important. It's important that with your spouses, you learn Torah together. So you connect on a spiritual level. And that's why, Taka, the Eibishter says to the patriarchs, you're going to sleep, you're going to go with your ancestors. Because you had a journey together. You had a spiritual journey together. And you'll be here, just like you were here in this world, you'll be in the upper worlds together.
So you're not
The
alone.
journey continues. Because it never ends. The neshama never ends. Spirituality never ends. Physicality ends. This physical world ultimately ends.
That's right.
To you or to me. So therefore the Eibishter was there from beginning to the end. He's there after. Elam Haba. He never goes away. Right? Yeah. And without him, having no need to do so, it's out of his generosity, goodness, and kindness that he does so, as explained in the gate of examination, Shara HaBechina, which is in this book. It's a whole different gate. And as King David, blessed memory, said, you have done great things, O Lord. Your wonders and your thoughts are of us, for us. There's no equal to you, and I tell to speak that they have but they would be too many to tell. You know, I heard I went to a base Avel, a mourner's home, and it was a Holocaust survivor. And Holocaust, the one who passed away, she was a 100-year-old lady, and she was out. I went to the country. Really an amazing story. And the daughter said that the truth is that we should celebrate life because she shouldn't have been alive. She shouldn't have been alive. And the truth is, if she shouldn't have been alive, we shouldn't have been alive. So she shouldn't have been alive, right? She went to the concentration camp. She was running in the whatever. She was in the forest. What this woman went through, right? She shouldn't have been alive. But then Chateva, she shouldn't have been here. Simple as that. She shouldn't have been here. So therefore, she's here only by miracles. It doesn't make sense. And the truth is, she's here by miracles. That means we're here. Only b'derech nes. It's that we shouldn't have been here. Nobody should have been here. And it's true. That's the beauty. You know, David HaMelech, the Gemara says, you think about it, David HaMelech lived 70 years. The man accomplished amazing things. The man accomplished in the most struggling. And if you learn, you go Tanakh. I mean, the guy, what he accomplished in the most struggling ways, personally, and in and outside. The man struggled with everything in life. How did he do it? How did he do it? How was it possible that this guy did it? How was it possible? And the answer is, because he wasn't supposed to be there.
What?
He wasn't supposed to be there. Right? He wasn't supposed to be there. He wasn't supposed to be alive. Right? And the Gemara says that Adam and Isha saw this baby, David HaMelech, that was supposed to be born and die. He said, okay, I'm going to give him 70 years. Right? David HaMelech, my Moshe Adam Arishan said, I'm going to give him 70 years. I'm supposed to live 1,000 years. I'm going to give this soul 70 years. I'm going to give him 70 of my years. That's why Adam Arishan lived 930 years. So David HaMelech realized he shouldn't have been here. He shouldn't have been here. He doesn't belong here. It's a gift. Right? It's a gift. I don't belong here. And the only reason I'm here because Adam Arishan, imagine Adam Arishan saw my soul. He gave me 70 years a gift. I'm pushed here as a gift. Shouldn't have been here. It's a gift. When you realize you're a gift, you have life is a different tone, right? Then you realize you don't have no time to sit and kvetch. You have no time to sit and complain. You're here. It's a gift.
Maybe a little.
They didn't complain. David HaMelech did not complain. Nobody should go through what David HaMelech went through in life. Okay, even though he was a king, whatever, the guy, what children, whatever. He had tzaddis tzurutis from the beginning. His father-in-law, his own wife, whatever. You shouldn't know of the tzaddis he went through. But what he accomplished is unbelievable. Not to believe. We live with his Tillim until today, and David HaMelech Chai V'Kayim, he was the greatest king that ever was, and what he accomplished for himself. Whatever. But the beauty is because he didn't take life for granted. He took life as a gift. The gift min hashamayim. That's what it is. We have to believe the Eibishter gives you a gift. Gave you a gift. He doesn't have to give you your life. He doesn't have to give you anything. He doesn't owe you anything. He gave you a gift. So the Eibishter gave you a gift. Gave me a gift. He gave me a gift. If the Eibishter gave me a gift, I shouldn't take it for granted. I should celebrate life. Celebrate the gift. Seventh quality is that a person must believe that God possesses in order to trust Him is that it is and should be clear to him that all those things in existence in the world, both those that are essential, referring to the beings and objects themselves which were brought into creation, and those that are accidental, referring to the events that happen with those objects and beings, have a clear and defined limit to them. And it's impossible to add or subtract from that limit which God, may He be blessed, has decreed. One cannot change its quantity, quality, time, or place. One cannot increase that which was decreed to be few, nor can he decrease that which is decreed to be many. God giving you the gift of the world. You can either use it or lose it.
Make the most of it.
Make the most of it. Yeah. I mean, it's very powerful. Similarly, one should not be able to delay something which has been decreed to be early. No one can hasten something which is decreed to be delayed. So therefore, either you're going to do it or somebody else is going to do it. That's it. You can either, that's what it says, so you can look at doing something as a schus, or you know what? Let somebody else do it. The thing is going to be done. You can look at it as a schus, be part of it, or not. But if you think that God, that what the Eibishter wants in the world is not going to happen, is going to happen, either through you or somebody else, but it's going to happen. Because what the Eibishter wants in the world will happen. As the Rebbe says, the Eibishter wants in the world to bring Mashiach to the world, it's going to happen. Either through you or somebody else. Why not through you?
Yeah.
Right? Why not through you? Why not through you? But to say that, because I'm not going to do it, Mashiach's not come to the world, it's ridiculous. Whatever the Eibishter wants to do in the world is going to happen.
And when?
That's his decree. Today. It could be today. Could be today. Could be today. Yeah. That which happens, finished off, that which does happen in this manner has been decreed by the Creator for the beginning of creation. It's just that the prior decrees of God, which were in the foreknowledge of the Creator, were decreed in such a way that the direct cause which causes them to happen. And those causes have prior causes. And that's the way the Eibishter created the world, the cause and effect. And everything goes in you ask the question, why was it revealed? Because that when it was supposed to be revealed. Penicillin. And that's when it's supposed to be revealed. It says that the Arizal writes that in the year certain year, right? In the 1,000th year, the Eibishter is gonna last 1,000 years, the Eibishter is gonna open up the world, right? The world's going to open up. The knowledge of the world will open up, which happened in 1800s. The knowledge of the world, these writes in the 1800s. He wrote it 1,000 years ago, He wrote it 1,000 years ago. He said in the 1800s, the world's going to open up in a way that it's going to transform the world, and the world will suddenly spiral in such a way that what in the last couple hundred years, the world changed more than in the thousands of years of existence.
It was the Industrial Revolution.
That's Industrial Revolution, correct. Okay? Changed the whole world. Right? In the past 100, 200 years, the world changed more than in thousands of years.
Absolutely.
Computer.
Because the Eibishter wanted that this should start. All started with electricity, really. Energy. Changed the whole world. Communication, energy, changed the whole world. What do you think? Energy was not there before. The Eibishter wanted it should be revealed in a certain time. And that changed the whole world. Look how we're changing the world. We're going much faster, quicker. Everything is good. What does it mean? What does it mean that means that shows you that everything is going to change very quick. just like it changed physically very quick,
In a
it's
blink
going
of
to
an
change very spiritually soon, very quick.
Amen.
And it won't be hard for the transformation of the world. And have a wonderful week. We shall all have bitachon and emunas Hashem and continue in our journey. Have a wonderful day, guys.